Oh, we're doing Barack Obama today. We're just looking at his demeanor. I'm curious to see mentally how he's doing.
Everybody.
Partly because they were leaving, and partly because of what he thought might happen to the country.
You write about Sarah Palin, about her brief ascendancy,
Right.
and you talk about dark spirits that had long been lurking on the edges of the Republican Party coming center stage. Did you ever think?
Well, he's not sitting in his normal position. I was sitting there looking at that. I was like, He's very tight. He's got his feet tucked underneath of him. He's really trying to be small. And he's not a short guy. Hunched over, hams collapsed in his lap. It's like, What has humbled you?
It would get this dark?
No, I thought that there were enough guardrails institutionally that even after Trump was elected, that you would have the so-called Republican establishment who would say, okay, it's a problem if the White House doesn't seem to be concerned about Russian meddling.
So as he trips over his words in that, and he is being so guarded in his speech, and it comes tight, and you see his brain thinking it out, which words to you. I thought there was enough guardrails, and he's pausing through all of this, looking for the words. And in a normal situation, you wouldn't do that. People do that in general when they're trying, one, to not expose something, or two, not to offend something or someone.
Or it's a problem if we have...
And that's my other favorite. It's a problem if he throws it out there, you see him throw it out there, and then he has to stop. It's like, oh, what do I say? And the song comes out. He's really trying to think and find the words.
A president who's saying that, neo-Nazis marching in Charlottesville, they're good people on both sides. That's a little bit beyond the...
He really is tripping over himself. Now, mind you, this actually is not unnormal for Barack Obama. He sings the song a lot if he doesn't have a teleprompter. He's got a whole symphony on the song. But usually when you see him struggle with the and he's trying to work it out, he doesn't do that much of a brain search. You don't see him wildly go from side to side and looking around, down, and all over the place. He's just kind of sitting still and like his brain has had a stutter. But in this instance, he's literally tripping over himself, looking for the words to come out. That's usually the sign of a deceptive person. Not that, he was a saint prior, but he really didn't have to lie to you. He could omit things. That's his favorite way.
Pale. And the degree to which we did not see that Republican establishment say, hold on, time out, that's not acceptable, that's not who we are, but rather be cowed into accepting it, and then finally culminating in January 6th, where what originally was, oh, don't worry, this isn't going anywhere, we're just letting Trump and others vent. And then suddenly you now have large portions of an elected Congress going along with the falsehood that there were problems with the election.
And the leadership of the GOP, briefly for one night when they still had this sort of scent of fear in them, going against the president.
And then poof, suddenly everybody was back in line. Now, the reason for that is because the base believed it. The base believed it because this had been told to them not just by the president, but by the media that they watch. And nobody stood up and said, stop, this is enough. This is not true. I won't say nobody, let me correct it. There were some very brave people who did their jobs, like the Secretary of State in Georgia, who was then viciously attacked for it. And all those congressmen started looking around and they said, you know what, I'll lose my job. I'll get voted out of office. Another way of saying this is I didn't expect that there would be so few people who would say, well, I don't mind losing my office because this is too important. America's too important.
Some things are more important than just...
Our democracy's too important. We didn't see that. Now, I'm still the hope and change guy, and so my hope is that the tides will turn, but that does require each of us to understand that this experiment in democracy is...
This is actually quite painful because his brain is searching so hard. It takes forever to sit there and see the body react to whatever it attaches to. It's like, oh, good God, man, spit it out. You know, there's fight, flight, and then there's scared shitless. You can't even move. And his brain seems to be stuck in that. Anderson Cooper tries to jump in. And he's like, you hear him in his breath. Relief that someone else is going to come in and rescue him from his brain fart. I think I've seen enough because this is just a pain in the ass to watch. I'll watch a few more minutes.
It's not self-executing. It doesn't happen just automatically. It happens because each successive generation says these values, these truths we hold self-evident. This is important. We're going to invest in it and sacrifice for it, and we'll stand up for it, even when it's not politically convenient.
That didn't get any better. He's literally trying to hammer home his points with his little arm, and he can't even really hammer it out there. It's just like it comes out like some kind of, oh my God, stop it. Basically, he don't mean it at all. It's just show.
Just to let our subscribers know, Finding Q has been released, and it should be pretty interesting for anybody who's curious as to know who could possibly be behind Q. I would like to thank the sponsor of this video, Fero. Fero is one of the few cryptocurrency projects that I respect. Unlike most other cryptocurrencies, Fero is focused on safeguarding your financial privacy without compromising on trustlessness, which means no third parties are required, and transactions are private by default. Fero also has an exciting roadmap to look forward to. Features such as Instant Send, where payments can both be sent and confirmed within seconds. There's also Elysium, which adds tokenization functionality